Welcome to How to Gym, the series where I break down all of the gym stuff that no one ever teaches you, but everyone expects you to know. Today, I'm showing you 3 highly effective variations of the Bulgarian split squat, which is one of the best single leg exercises for building your glutes and quads. I've coached hundreds of women, both in person and online, and most think that they're doing this exercise right. But a few small tweaks can take this from a good exercise to a great one. So if you've ever walked away from a leg day with lower back pain instead of a glute pump, or you secretly avoid this exercise, this video is for you. The first thing you want to dial in on is your setup. Most people overcomplicate things with fancy cues that really don't matter, when really your setup is everything. 90% of the problems with this exercise simply happen because you're not setting it up correctly. If your setup is off, you'll notice it right away, usually as back pain, discomfort, or lack of progress. And honestly, no one has time for that. You're too young for lower back pain. Now, your setup will look a little bit different depending on what variation of the split squat you go with, and we will go through that soon, but there are 3 things that you need to master no matter what. Firstly, the bench height. It's really important that you master this step and don't mess it up. Make sure that the bench is directly behind your knee or a little bit lower. Now, if the bench is too high, what it's going to do is twist and rotate your pelvis, and this puts a lot of load onto your hip flexors and your lower back. So if you don't get the bench right from the start, it's going to cause you issues later on. If you do need a simple hack, you can simply just stand on a bumper plate if you find that the benches are a little bit high at your gym. The second thing is your foot stance, and it matters more than you think. A simple hack to nail this every time is simply sitting on the bench, extend your working leg out, put your heel down, and then stand up. This is where your working leg is going to anchor. Then you're going to be able to put your opposite foot back on the bench, and it's your perfect height. Later, I'm going to show you how to adjust your foot position to target different muscles, but as a starting point, this should be the first position you start with. And the final one is weight selection. Now, so many people get this wrong, especially with single leg exercises, but the weight that you use is really important. If you go too heavy, your technique's going to fall apart. And if you go too light, you're just not going to make progress. Now, weight selection will depend on the variation, which we'll walk through later. There are 3 variations of the Bulgarian split squat that cover all bases. These are the ones that I use on repeat with myself and my clients. They're my personal favorites because they're simple, effective, and hit every angle you need. You don't need any other variation of this exercise. Let's start with the first one, the classic Bulgarian split squat with 2 dumbbells. If you can master this version, every other variation comes so much easier and more effective. This variation will challenge both your balance and your strength, which is exactly what makes it such a great starting option. One of the most common mistakes that I see on the gym floor with this variation is having your back foot positioned on the bench like this, with just the tips of your toes pressing down. I mean, don't do that. There's barely any contact or stability, which makes balancing so much harder. What you want to do is make sure that the front of your foot is pressed down firmly against the bench. If you love training but don't want to overthink your program, the Women's Health Movement app is for you. You'll get instant access to hundreds of training programs that teach you how to move well, lift with intent, and reach your physical goals. You'll be guided step by step to choose your most effective program based on the results that you want to see, your experience, and your personal preferences. No more second guessing or overthinking, just a clear plan tailored to you. Whether you train at home or in the gym, you'll have structured workouts, video demonstrations, and progress tracking tools that make it easy to stay consistent. Click the link below to start your free trial today and begin training with purpose. No fluff, no guesswork, just real results. Now, you might be thinking, Sherelle, should I be using 2 dumbbells or just 1? And that's a great question. That takes us straight to the second variation, a contralateral Bulgarian split squat, which is essentially when you hold 1 dumbbell in your opposite hand to your working leg. This variation challenges your core stability more because it creates a natural pull across your body. Your obliques and glutes have to work a lot harder to keep your torso upright and your pelvis square. This is great for improving balance, control, and your overall coordination. So I often use this variation for clients who are still developing stability or want to improve any muscle imbalances. Now, personally, I like this variation most because it feels more natural to me. I can hold a heavy dumbbell in the middle of my body like this without feeling off balance. Now, one really common mistake with this variation is letting your weight shift forward or back with that front foot. If you notice your toes or heels lifting off the ground, it means that your weight isn't evenly distributed. And as a result, you're probably not activating the target muscles. A really helpful cue for this is pushing down with your big toe, your little toe, and your heel at the same time. This is called a tripod foot, and it helps you stay balanced, stable, and connected to the ground throughout the entire movement. Film this exercise in the gym next time and pay close attention to your foot. If you notice this happening for yourself, kick off your shoes and have a go going barefoot. Sometimes it can be hard to feel your foot pressure with shoes on. If your main goal is to grow your glutes or grow your quads or your leg muscles, this one here is the main variation that you want to go with, the assisted Bulgarian split squat with one dumbbell. I'm going to show you my favorite way to set this up using a squat rack. This variation here is ideal for building muscle because having something to hold on to removes the need to balance. That means that you can direct all your energy and intent in creating tension throughout the target muscle, exactly where you want it. But not just any old random setup will do. You need to get it right. Set your barbell at belly button height, place 2 fingers lightly on top, and keep a slight forward lean throughout your torso. This allows you to use the bar purely for balance, not to pull yourself up. That forward lean also helps you target and isolate your glutes more effectively. The most common mistake that I see with this variation is pulling on the bar as you fatigue. You need to avoid that. The bar is just there for support and stability, not to help lift you back up. Out of all 3 variations, this is the one that you'll likely be able to handle the most weight because you don't have to worry about balancing or coordination. If you want to hit your glutes more than your quads, what you want to make sure is that you're stepping further away from the bench and you're not going through a lot of knee bend. And the way you know you're doing this correctly is that your shin stays vertical. So your knee should stay about directly over your ankle throughout the movement. So if you notice that you're getting a lot more knee bend, you can simply just move your foot forward. Now, if you want to target your quads more than your glutes, then you want to make sure that your foot is actually closer to the bench. So you'll notice that my knee's actually coming over my foot. Maybe your ankle mobility might be better than mine, but the further over your toes you get, the more quad stretch. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit subscribe and check out the rest of my how-to gym series, where I break down all the gym stuff that no one ever teaches you, but everyone expects you to know.